I will call the meeting to order. I will start with roll call. Larry?
Here.
Bren?
Here.
Jane?
Here.
Mary? Here. Ashley? Here. Jeannie? Here. And our student representatives, Dylan?
Go Lions.
And Natalie?
Here.
Thank you very much. Notice of meeting?
The meeting was properly noticed.
All right, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second. All in favor of adopting the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. If you please stand with me to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Tonight, we are starting with our Spotlight on Learning, and we get to meet our foreign exchange students.
Mr. Bursai, come on down.
Good evening, everybody. I think I know everybody here, but I'm Paul Burse. I'm the associate principal at the high school. Very happy to be with you here this evening. We have 3 foreign exchange students, but unfortunately there is only one here right now. So I have the good fortune to introduce her. And I told her before I introduce her that
I think one maybe just arrived.
awesome.
Yay.
Hello. Come on up. Hi.
Oh,
you're
Oh,
good.
no, you're
It's
fine.
okay.
You're good.
We're glad you're here. Thank you for coming.
All right, so I'll introduce Daniela first, because what I had told her over here a moment ago was that I have literally not one time when I've seen her in the hallway or somewhere else in the building not studying. So she is serving as a fantastic example of what we'd expect out of a student at PHS. And so she's participating in homecoming week today and with her outfit, and just seems to be fitting in very well. So very excited to have her here today. So I'd like to welcome her up and allow her to answer any questions that you might have.
Welcome, Daniela. Come on down.
Come on up. How's it been?
It's been good. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just welcome. Thanks for being here. We're excited to have you at Pewaukee High School. And this is probably all new to you. This is a board of education, so I function as the superintendent. The board members are elected locally to run our school system, and so it's always a tradition of the Board of Education want to meet our foreign students that come and are members of our student body. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why you decided to take on this challenge.
Okay, so my name is Daniela. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Madrid, Spain. And I've decided to take this exchange year because I've always dreamed to live an American life, like in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, and right now it's like being like in the movies.
You're in a movie right now. It feels a little
Yes.
like you're in a movie.
So yeah, but I have always dreamed coming to the United States, and more in the senior year because of the graduation and everything.
So what are some things that you are really interested in? Like, what are some of your favorite subjects? Do you do any kind of other activities, sports, or anything like that?
So right now I'm really interested in technical theater, because in Spain we don't have that type of classes, and it is really interesting getting to know all the stuff they do behind the show.
Mm-hmm. So in the play production, that you're going to be involved in that? Is that what you had said?
Yes.
Great. So you want to act and sing and all that good stuff?
No.
You said you want to be in the movie, right?
Well, I'm very excited to see that you think you might want to be a teacher. We love having potential teachers in our student body, so we strongly encourage that and promote that, and we welcome you to Pewaukee. We're really happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
Yeah, this is Larry Dukes, one of the board members. And quick question for you. When you kind of decided to come to the United States, had you been in the United States before, or is this your first time here?
This is my first time here.
So you've been here, maybe about, whatever it is, 20-some days or a little bit like that?
Yeah,
20?
I have been here since the 26th of August.
Okay.
I arrived here in Wisconsin.
So what is the most surprising thing or the thing that kind of shocked you about coming to Pewaukee and being in our community?
in school, like in Spain, we don't move from one class to another. We stay in the same class like all day, and the teachers are the one who moves.
So the teachers come to you.
Yes.
What do you like better?
I prefer staying in one class
It's less confusing.
so I don't get lost.
Anybody else? All right.
Well, thank you for being here, and I think we have a little, yeah, sure, we have a little present for you to welcome you to Pewaukee, and thank you for
Thank
taking
you.
the time to come here tonight. And thank you to the Pudwell family for hosting you.
Yes, so I want to give just a quick recognition to the Pudwells and also to Daniela to get up here. It's kind of a scary, imposing thing to be in front of a big group like this. So awesome job, Daniela. Thank you for coming up and being the first one up here. Next, I would like to introduce, I'm going to probably not say this well, but I'm going to give it a try. Elisa Fabriciani. All right, come on
Yeah,
up.
Nice job.
Visiting us from Italy.
Hello and welcome.
Hi.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to participate in this program?
I'm Alisa. I'm from Arezzo. It's a small town in Tuscany. I'm 17, and I've always dreamed since I was 9 to live not in Italy, but in another country and try as many things as I could. And to find about new culture and something that is totally out of my comfort zone, because I've always wanted to travel and live like life on the road.
So is this outside your comfort zone here tonight?
Yeah, totally.
Well, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Oh, well, no, you can ask more questions.
No, go ahead, Larry.
Well, questions I asked the other student was in terms of how long have you been in the United States, and is this your first time here?
Yeah.
So same question is, what was the most surprising or thing that kind of was different in terms of what you might have expected in terms of when you arrived here in Pewaukee, Wisconsin?
Kind of the same thing she said before. It's like changing the classes in school, but I kind of like it because at first I was really scared and I was not going to remember the names of my classmates, not make friendships. And instead, I'm finding like every class I go, there is someone I can talk to, and I make friendships. I make many connections. So like even if I see them in the hallways, we just like say hi to each other or just talk a bit. And it's a thing that I didn't thought, and instead it's how it goes, and I like it so much.
So how do you like the food in our cafeteria and food in general?
I mean, some days are better than others. No, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad, I have to admit.
Anybody else?
So it says you're a black belt. Is there a specific martial art you're a black belt in?
Karate.
Okay, that's really cool.
Is there something you're really looking forward to in your time here to experience, like an activity or a class or something that you
I'm in the cross-country team.
Okay.
So I like it. Like it's really beautiful. I don't like running, but the team in there is one of the most beautiful things that I could have asked for. I made so many friendships, and we help each other if we need it. So I'm really looking forward to like run with them a bit more and make like this friendship more close.
Great. Thank you. All right, we have a little gift for you.
And I want to recognize the Schlinder family for hosting.
Thank you for
As
being
well.
here tonight, and thank you to the family for hosting you.
And while we're on the subject of cross-country, I just want to plug that group because the family feel and connections that they make as a team is second to none in our school and district, but also I would say around anywhere of all the places I've been. It's a really unique situation, so those coaches have created a really nice feel. So going on to our last student, I think we got it nailed here. Anna Jedlichkova. So come on up.
was
And she's being
impressive,
hosted
Paul.
by the Barrett family.
Welcome, Anna.
Thank
How did
you.
he do? Did he get it right?
Did he do okay with that?
Yeah, you did. Very
Oh,
well.
good.
Well, welcome, Anna. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to do this.
Okay, so I'm Anna, and I'm 16 years old. I am from Czech Republic, as you might know, from Prague. I live in Prague. I decided to come here mostly to like get new experiences, meet new people, get more independent, and just get as many great memories as I can.
Larry, you want to ask your question?
Oh, sure, okay. So the question I have for you is how long is this your first time in the United States?
Yes.
So kind of the same question then, relatively speaking, what was the thing that either surprised you or was so different that when you arrived here, that caught you off guard, if you will, or surprised you, so?
Yeah, I guess like cars, they're huge. Yeah. Also Costco. I love that one. Yeah, and also as Elisa and Daniela said earlier, the fact that we have to change classes here, we also do just stay in one class. We usually decorate it, and the teacher comes to our class.
Ooh, so it works the other way around. You stay in the same room, but
Yes.
here you have to go around, so.
All right, then I'll ask my question. Is there something that you're really excited about or looking forward to experiencing when you're here?
I'm looking forward to like traveling, going to other states, seeing monuments and just sights. I would really want to try like skiing and stuff like that. Also, I'm really looking forward to snow, because we like do have snow, but not that much. So very excited for that.
How are you with when it's really cold?
It's around 30 Fahrenheit, so not that cold. Usually maybe like a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's not that cold.
it can get a lot colder here. You'll definitely get some snow and you'll definitely get some cold, but that's great. Anybody else? Well, we're so happy that you're here, and we hope you have a great experience in Pewaukee, and thanks for coming to speak to us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to, I guess, close by applauding their bravery for coming over to a new place, not knowing anybody, and really taking a big jump, but also for providing our students and our adults some different perspective, right? When I hear the cars in Costco, it makes you think a little bit different about the things you take for granted every single day. And so thank you to these three young ladies for again, taking that big jump and really doing their best to learn about the world and find new experiences and do a great job doing so. So thank you all for the opportunity for us to be here and share them with you. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
Paul.
you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, moving on to comments from citizens. Do we have any cards, Julie? All right, then to salutes and recognitions. Does anybody have any salutes or recognitions they'd like to propose today? Nothing.
Well, I'll salute Jane for getting the golf cart all ready to go for the parade on Friday, so.
We'll see how the driving goes.
Well, we're understanding you've had really clear
Long
instructions.
list of instructions on how to use
Was
the
there
golf
like a
cart.
training video involved? Was there?
If there was time, there would have been,
Yeah.
but it was a short weekend, so no.
I think I'd just like to recognize all the people that stand out in our traffic areas every day. I mean, they're too numerous to name, but dropping off and picking up every day, it just amazes me the amount of people and the time that they give every single day just to make sure that our flow goes well, our kids are safe, they get to school on time, and also to the two of you for all the work that you guys do on this whole bus schedule. I know it's a hard job every single year, but you guys work so many long hours on it, and I just want to say personally, I really appreciate it.
And maybe we could tag on the principals, I think.
The principals too.
I know that's a big headache.
That stand out in the parking lots and
Well,
help
the
direct
buses though,
traffic
yeah, but the
and-
buses, like,
Yeah.
figuring out the buses, I think they're spending a lot of time working
Yeah.
on that every day.
Yeah, the four of them and John get actual like migraine headaches. I get, my point is they deal with it a lot more than I do, but thank you, Brian.
All right, anybody else? Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. We had the minutes from our last meeting on September 11th, as well as the Business Affairs Committee meeting that evening, the correspondence that was included in our packet, and we had a few gifts from the Women's Club of Pewaukee, $1,500 to nutritious snacks for students at the elementary school, $1,000 from Brett Duchateau to the dance team, and $15,000 from the Kiwanis to the high school athletics program. So if I would have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a
Second?
all in favor of accepting the consent agenda, please say aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you very much.
Point of order,
Yes?
question actually. The minutes from the executive sessions, I don't see them from the July 12th, July 10th meeting. And when do we get those?
The minutes from the closed session
Correct?
from the July 10th meeting.
And the other one. I didn't go back to the other one, but I do not have the ones from the July 10th. They didn't show up in August.
Okay, we can make sure that you have those and get back to you on that.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay, moving on to new business, we have the summer campus improvements update. John?
Okay, don't cue the video just yet, but no, I just want to make sure I give the thank yous out first. One, thank you to all of you for supplying us the budget and supporting and making our schools great. It's always amazing how we continue to upkeep our facilities, and making them just a great place to be for staff and students and visitors and for everyone. It's also great to see the results and the hard work that is spent completing these projects. As some of them take a long time to complete and take a lot of patience on waiting for contractors and lead times and installers to get here on time. Also, you'll see a few different projects in this video coming up. I want to make sure to get shout outs to appropriate people. Jeff Behrens and the students and staff who assisted with the weight room remodel earlier this year that happened in March. Also, for the admin team and assisting in the storybook trail, it turned out to be a great project. Making sure I give my credit to my wife for giving us the great idea about 1.5 years ago. It was another district that's about 45 minutes west of here where she got the idea from, and she brought it to us. I brought it to Danielle and Robin, and they're like, yeah, that sounds like a great project. Let's do something like that here. So great to see it turned out. My wife won't watch this, but I want to make sure I give a shout out to her. So, and also I think it's amazing how we turn over close to 200 classrooms in 54 days over the summer. So just to kind of put that in perspective of how many rooms our crew is turning over. Also, with my crew, they play an important role in making this all happen. So I got them listed out. Julie, I'll just give you the list, don't worry. Olivia Gill, Ben Graham, Rich Eels, Jim Blekich, Sue Four, Sue Hendricks, Sue Taylor, Mary Grunwald, Nancy Jones, Rick Moncada, Randy Kernitz, Pat Singer, Deb Wunschel, Tony Schumbuckner, Peyton Wunschel, Zachary Wisniewski, Alexis Polk, Carter Bosonic, Kellen Stading, Landon Wittick, sorry, next page, yeah, and John Blekich as well. Also, we have a variety of contractors that I want to give shout outs to, from Zach L. Plumbing, G&G Industrial Flooring, Chef Clayton for having the vision on what we're going to put underneath that hood and use in the remodel. And also, it's great to have that local assistance and great contractors to work with. Kemp and Masonry to help us out with the dugouts and the press box at the softball field. Also, PLM and Tom Opie just for their assistance with multiple things, from the softball to the playground, and excavation, prep work, you name it. Also to Danielle, Robin, Adriana, Miranda for assisting with the painting and rebranding at Insight that we snuck in over the summer. Also H&H Civil, who is working on the softball field, Midwest Turf, who started here today. Also Stalker Sports Flooring. The video that you see with the PLE gym floor is a sand down, repaint, and refinish project. So they go around and do this all summer long and technically all year long, but it's a cool process to witness and watch just because it takes a lot of coordination, in order to get those lines perfect, and the dimensions correct, and especially all the cross courts for every other sport that we have in that gym as well. And then also how we're able to work in a couple of the student-led projects from Blake Olson and Derek Walls. We've got those mentioned there too. It's always exciting when kids come to us with ideas, and the biggest thing for us is sustainability and how will it add to our entire campus environment. Also to IT, I know they don't get enough shout outs, but it's amazing how much coordination it takes for them to flip all those and turn over all those devices, and for us to have spaces where we can, keep them all summer, for them to flip all these devices and, reimage, and just a ridiculous amount of work that's put in from the IT department. And I think that's it. If I forgot someone else that I think of during the video, I'll mention them after, but otherwise you can cue the video. All right. Any questions, comments, anything that you have on any of the projects? And then I know the softball turf is going to be going in right now, and then the dugout roofs and press box will be built here yet this fall.
And kids will be able to be on the PLE playground in a couple of days?
Probably, I would say by Monday.
By Monday?
Once they pour the soft, squishy, like rubber pour and play material, it'll have to just cure for about 48 hours, and then they're fair game. So as soon as they pour that, we'll wait a little while to make sure it cures, and then, yeah, after 48 hours, they'll be able to get on there.
Did any kids comment on PD being gone from PLE?
There was a few comments on Petey, but as part of the rebranding, you know, it's been in the works for a few years too, just the rebranding and making sure we're rolling out the P everywhere. So, yeah, but Petey's been retired for a few years. It's
How
just he
about-
was not on he was still on the floor.
How about the roller slide? Anybody sad to see the roller slide go?
There is another roller slide on the new
Oh, there
playground
is?
area, so we made
Oh.
sure we did not.
You wanted the fingers to
We
continue to get
needed
pinched?
we need at least one roller slide on that new playground. So there's a roller slide. It just goes to the east now instead of
Okay.
to the northwest.
All right.
Guessing it's a little higher quality than the one it's.
Yes, much higher quality. And you know, people are like, oh, that playground. I'm like, that playground had a great life cycle. It lasted 30 plus years. And a lot of kids were able to experience that playground, except it was ready to be retired. So, but yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have your hands full, probably just keeping those kids away from that place until it's all cured and ready to go, because I'm sure there's some
Yeah, we
fired up
try to
kids
keep
are
that coned off. The playground supervisors have done a great job of keeping the kids out of there. And they've been more than respectful of it. So I know they're chomping at the bit. So we'll be excited. I know Miranda will take some great video and pictures of the kids getting out of the playground for the first time. So, any other questions?
Well, I just wanna, you rattled off the names of your staff, and you do have a great crew. They do an amazing, it's pretty Herculean what they do over the course of a summer, and so I would just echo the recognition. It's a great group that you have.
Yes, thank
Yep.
you. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Olivia's back there, right? Thank you, Olivia. All right, moving on to the review of the three-year tactical plan. Mike?
Yeah, so in your packets, you have, I believe that third year chunk of the three-year plan. So we talk about strategic planning. It is there are three-year objectives, and then we break it down into one-year pieces. And that's what the tactical plans represent, is that each of that one-year piece of the plan. So we are in year 3. So what you have are the updated strategic plan goals and measures that are provided in your packet in those 6 strand areas, with the exception of Danielle, who I excused from tonight for some family stuff that she had going on. Your process owners for each of those strands are here to answer questions, and I can certainly help answer any questions that you might have as well. But it's an exciting year in that we are bringing a 3-year plan in for a landing over the course of this year. We're excited by the progress that's been made so far. And we'll have a busy spring as we kind of ratchet up our engagement with the community as we bring this to a close and to craft the 2024 through 27 plan. So I'd be happy to take any questions that you have. There's no action that's required, but sometimes it's your prerogative as a board if you want to take action to accept it. We'd be happy to take any specific questions you have around any of the strand areas.
I like the idea of doing an official motion because then it gets it on record as being officially approved. So I move to approve the PSD strategic plan, 6 strategy areas for the 2021-24 time period. So as presented.
Second.
Question? It's seconded, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
What is the difference? What is in the update, Mike?
Yeah, so good question, Mary. So we have kind of this continuous improvement approach to the strategic plan. So in 2021, the original goals were set, and then action plans are crafted every year. The key strategies and the steps that are going to be focused on in a given year are updated each year in that year's tactical plan. So we have a 3-year goal that are kind of broken into annual pieces in terms of trying to get here by 2024. This is the piece I'm getting done in 21, 22. And now I've kind of update those goals, measures, and key actions that we're going to use in year 2 and then again in year 3. So what you're seeing is really that updated version of the original plans and goals that were started in 21.
I wanted to just comment that I really appreciate, I know how process-driven this district is as a whole, but I really appreciate as a school board member, being able to see the progress being made and how all of you process owners stay diligent with that. I can imagine the tasks you do every day are time-consuming enough to have to go back and kind of fill in these descriptions and these boxes. I don't want you to, I want you to realize how beneficial that is to us, to be able to see the progress that's being made on the strategic plan that we believe very much in. So thank you for doing that extra administrative work when I know that you're very busy executing a lot of tasks and plans. So thank you for that.
Mike, if I follow what you said, the update is, it's not a change. It's a status update, not a go.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. I think
Okay.
a status,
Thank
you know,
you.
and like you'll see in some cases, like just to kind of illustrate, you know, Rachel, sometimes, and we always want to be really responsive because 3 years is a substantial amount of time. We might go down a path that we might find as we go down there, it might not be productive. Or in like Rachel's case, the goal for the library plan was accomplished already, so that's done. And we also knew, based on the emergence of artificial intelligence, we adopted a new goal this year that wasn't in the original strategic plan because of the emergence of AI, because we knew we needed something around emerging technologies. So it's that flexibility to respond. So like in that case, that piece is new, but I'll use Miranda as an example. So she had a 3-year goal to really research, gain community feedback, and then design and develop a new website for the district. So each year was kind of a piece of that process, and now her goal at the end of this year is to actually do the initial deployment of that website. So to your word of status was a really good one, Mary.
The change is in the AI?
So that's a new
Yes.
goal, an emerging technologies goal, because the world changes, right? And we want to be able to respond to that, and we know that's substantial enough that we should have significant focus on it. So we chose to fold in a new goal under technology to make sure we're giving enough attention to emerging technologies.
But that's also a connection in terms of the alignment with that. So when we created the board and superintendent goals document, we specifically had one of the board superintendent goals identified as related to the emerging technologies, specifically the artificial intelligence, virtual reality, other things that are in there. So even though, I mean, it's in there, we're expecting a report out at
Yes.
some point on that board goal. So it's the synchronization of the activities that are now reflected in the updated strategic plan will align what we will learn in terms of the board and superintendent's goals.
Right, so that's something new that came in, and the Future Ready Library Plan that was completed is an example of a goal that was achieved early, and so that one's been completed, and now it's just operationalized. And so, yeah. Yeah,
So we are approving AI on the basis of one sentence? It's just been inserted as a sentence?
well, there's a goal listed in the plan,
A paragraph?
correct, it's just.
Okay, we did not get a briefing on the advisability of putting in AI into a school when it's not even known what it does in the regular world.
Yeah, a big part of it is to study it and understand what the applications and implications are for our students and our staff. And so we know that we need to spend substantial, that it's a reality that we'll be confronted with. It's a reality that our students and our staff will have access to those tools. And so we want to be as in front of that as possible in terms of how we want to manage it in the district. So we felt it
Thank
was
you.
important enough that we should have a strategic goal related to it.
And there's more than one statement. There's the goal, and then there's a 3-year tactical plan and key actions. So it was given thought and attention. Okay.
And it's new and evolve, and just to kind of close to make sure I'm providing thorough information. So then each of those process owners, so Rachel, Danielle, Miranda, Tony, everybody with their goals, they have fully developed action plans that are denser. Those are their working documents that they use administratively to manage that. So there's a lot more detail in those plan, do, study, act, action plans that they use as their working documents to manage those goals. And they report out, we have a process improvement approach of 90-day cycles of improvement. So they're all calendared where they have to report out every 90 days to the administrative team on their progress, and we give them feedback on that. We use the Baldridge framework model as kind of the underpinning of how we do things.
All right, so we do have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion as presented to approve the strategic plan update as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, vote carries 6-1. Moving on to the third Friday count update. John?
Okay, so as we talk about the budget development process, the district operates under the preliminary operating budget that's adopted by the board in May, all the way up until 3 critical pieces of information are obtained in the fall. The first piece of that information is the third Friday count in September, and that's all of the students that are in attendance in the district or resident students that are in attendance elsewhere. So the third Friday count is used to establish what our revenue limit is for the year. And the revenue limit guides us into what the tax levy is going to be for the year. The tax levy and the original budget for the district will be adopted at the October 23rd meeting. So that first piece of information, it represents this third Friday count. So from a total students counted that we have within the districts, we have 2,911 students. To give you a little background, the third Friday count represents September 15th. Those students that were in attendance on the 15th or prior to the 15th, and if they weren't in attendance on the third Friday, are they coming back or have they been back already? Those are the students that are eligible to be counted. So as we count the students here in the district, we have 2,911. The last confirmation we had for students was actually about 4:15 today, came through. So the report is due this Friday. We have a little bit of auditing to do yet on it, but it's relatively final right now. Our open enrollment students that are coming into the district, we have 325. That number is up from last year. We have one student who is here on a tuition waiver. That means that they were here as a resident and have moved since the start of the year, since July. We have 2 students who will become residents of the district when they establish in the house that they just purchased. You have a 9-week waiver. We can't count them on the third Friday. We amend the third Friday count once they establish that residency and begin living in the district. We have 115 students who are open enrolled out of the district.
How many, John?
115. And we have 9 students who are on tuition agreements and attending an alternative location. So our total resident count represents 2,707. And since we can only count 4K students as a 0.6 FTE, they're not here for a full day, it translates to a full-time equivalency student for residents of 2,644 in the district. Both the total head count of students attending here and the resident FTE are down from last year slightly, but we'll get into the analysis of that when we do the reconciliation for the budget, so you can see what that impact is on the budget. We addressed that in October at the October 23rd meeting.
That's a good question. How far down from budget, what you projected?
We are down about just over 60 students.
Like 60, you're
Yes.
saying?
It correlates really closely to the number of tuition waivers that we had last year in the spring of families who had moved out of the district. They applied to stay in the district through open enrollment. So now they're no longer counted as residents, but they're increasing our open enrollment coming in. So those 2 numbers are really close. Like I said, the analysis on that will come in October.
John?
And
Sorry.
understanding the impact.
Do you have a question, Mary?
Thank you. 2,644. I've got in my head 2,000 north of 2,900. How do you square that?
We have 2,911 students
Okay.
attending in the district. That's the head count.
Right.
2,644 is the full-time equivalency of resident students who are in attendance in the district.
So that's
The 300.
Correct.
that's the
Which
open
you-
enrollment,
You
right?
you
And then
subtract the open
Thank you.
enrollment, and you
Yep.
add back our open enrollment students who are going out.
and then 4K students don't count as a full. Good question.
Any other questions for John? All right. We look forward to hearing more in October.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much. No personnel issues to go over. We have upcoming board activities. Sorry. All right. So we did, if you remember, we had a few changes. Oh, first, let me go talk about the WASB presentations for that conference. We've been approved to do 2, building background knowledge in your youngest learners and empowering with AI, enhancing teaching and learning. So if you are planning to attend the WASB conference and would like to participate in that presentation, please let Julie know. Upcoming meetings, we have first, the homecoming parade. So meeting at 4:20 at Kiwanis Village Park to ride the golf cart in the parade. And then our meeting on Wednesday, October 4th, is the Community Long Range Facility Tour. If anybody would like to participate in that, they've got 3 time slots. Julie, do we have anyone signed up yet? I know it's kind of early. 4? Okay, wonderful. So if anybody wants to participate in that, that's on Wednesday, October 4th. Then our next regular meeting will be on Monday, October 9th. We have Business Affairs and Policy both meeting at 6 p.m. that evening, with our regular board meeting starting at 7. And then we have the next board meeting will be starting at 7. Earlier, we had indicated a 6 o'clock start time, but that will be 7. We're doing the new courses, the budget, and continuous improvement presentations that evening. Then our next board meeting is the one we added on November 6th. Will be the regular board meeting at 7 with Business Affairs meeting at 6 p.m. And that's the evening that we'll be doing the data assessment reporting and teaching and learning continuous improvement. Then November 20th will be a regular board meeting at 7 p.m. There's no committee meetings that evening, and that's when we're going to do the school continuous improvement reports. Is there anything else as far as upcoming events?
I think on the 10th, a few of us are going to the WASB.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you, the fall.
The fall regional meeting.
Thank you for adding that. Yep. So there, I'm sure there's still time to sign up if anybody isn't signed up and would like to attend.
Question on the calendar. The 9th and the 23rd. The 23rd no longer has 6 o'clock start. I would request either policy committee or the budget or the business committee move to that date so that
We
they're not-
discussed that last time, and it wasn't conducive to moving because the 23rd, John is gone, right?
No, that was November 6th.
Oh, November
I think the
6th.
reason we didn't do it, it was because we were going to start at 6, the regular meeting, but now we're not.
But, okay, so then am I remembering, were you going to be gone, Ashley? Oh, that's all November. So you'd like to move the policy meeting to the 23rd? Is that what you're proposing?
Either one. So they're not on
Well,
the
there,
same
it
night.
needs to, it would need to be policy. We don't want to do a finance meeting that late in the month. Is there any conflict with that? Bren, do you know?
I have no objection with that. Larry?
Yeah, it should be okay.
Ashley? Yep, we're fine with
Okay.
making
So
that move.
policy moved to the 23rd?
Policy moved to the 23rd.
Yep.
All right. Anything else about upcoming events? All right. Legislative advocacy. Is there anything going on, guys?
We're meeting with Representative Nayland. We were actually supposed to meet today, but he had something come up, so we rescheduled for in 2 weeks. I think in 2 weeks we'll be meeting with him, so we're looking forward to sitting down with him. But that's about all for now.
Okay. So then, the next item on the agenda is the Human Growth and Development Committee. So we were sent the committee as was drawn randomly. Danielle had a memo in there describing everything. Does anybody have any questions or comments on that?
Danielle's, I had talked to her today. She said she didn't receive any questions. I know, Ashley, I believe you were there for the drawing of the committee.
I have a few questions.
Okay.
We have an HGD curriculum currently?
We do.
Okay. What happened to the advisory committee for that?
It's convened episodically when you review it, and you're required by statute, whenever you review human growth and development, to have this process where you form a representative committee. It's only convened, I think the last time it was convened was probably 10 years ago. And it's one of the things that drove this is that a lot of the resources are very dated, and so some of that needs to be updated, so then a new committee had to be convened. So it's not a standing group, it's convened when you look at a curriculum change or update.
Are these committee meetings open to the public?
Yes, they would be, because it's a board selected committee is open to the public.
The statutory list has 7 categories of membership. We're at 20 on the committee. And I'm wondering how we get from 7 to 20. What is, like, we didn't stop at 14, for example.
Yeah.
How does it land at 7? Excuse me.
There's
20?
there's like a formula that you can only, a certain percentage can be parents, a certain percentage can be staff.
I understand that, but that does not get us to 14 versus 20. That's just a percentage of what we have. So if we have a committee of 7, and 1 out of the 7 is a student, that holds with the 20%. That doesn't address this. Do we, my question, not to debate it.
Yeah.
My question is, how did we get there?
In
How is
terms
that
of
decision made that we're going with 20?
Well, I know, and again, Danielle's not here to answer that kind of detail, but there was a process that she presented to the board that was approved by the board, and she used that process to select the committee and to ensure that the breakdown of the committee in terms of those different required categories was in alignment with the statute.
I saw all that. I understood that when we did it. I did not understand why it was so large.
Well,
And rereading the statute, it does not prescribe that size. So that was the genesis of that question. A large committee like that is almost unwieldy. I mean, Waukesha County has 3 high schools, and they have a school board of 9. And subcommittees from there are less than that for the most part, not more. So I was wondering what the train of thought was on that.
Yeah, I could certainly have Danielle get back to you to give you, or she give you a call to explain that to you.
It'd be good to have the whole board know about it.
Well, the board
The
was
last
involved
question is.
Mary, can I just recommend that then you ask that question once you get the board packet? Because then Danielle can prepare and have an answer and share that answer with everybody in the board. I'm not sure why you don't ask these questions before our meeting when we get the board packet.
My last question is, how was the committee informed?
That they were on the committee?
No, that this was going on. So, for example, in Danielle's memo, she speaks of contacting the Hindu group specifically, and then I think she reached out to the Lutheran group. But how was that done? How were parents, parents don't constitute a very large portion of our community, as you pointed out earlier this evening.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, how was that done?
Yeah, I know there was a combination, like board members recommended people for the committee. Principals were asked to submit parent names of, active parents who might want to be part or willing to serve on a committee. And then Danielle reached out to all those names she was given and, asked if they would be interested. Some were, some weren't. And of those that were contacted, that were interested, then there was a drawing which, to select the people for the committee.
Okay, and that's pretty much what she presented last time. So we did not go out to the community for this to see who would like, at large. For example, the Catholics or the Jews, the Jewish communities were not
In terms
invited
of the clergy.
or alerted. I should just say
Yeah.
alerted.
In terms of the clergy,
Right.
I believe Danielle reached out to those, because I did this when I was in her role, and I know I reached out to a church and, just to see if someone would be interested. So she'd have to answer specifically on those.
Okay, well, her memo was rather specific, so it
Okay.
seemed to suggest that it didn't happen, and I wasn't sure what the mechanism was for doing that. I would have two recommendations for the committee formation, and I can give that to Danielle. The first one would be to, we're sticking with 20, drop the student number to 2 and seniors, and increase the clergy to 4. Currently, the clergy's 2, students are 4. And it seems to be a very adult problem. My second recommendation would be to do a more thorough, as opposed to the narrow, examination of the sex education. HGD is one scheme, legislative scheme. And I think you're suggesting we've had this for 10 years?
I'd have to look,
'Cause you-
but it's been quite a while.
You were on the advisory committee, which you mentioned was 10 years ago? All right. If we're not doing HGD, that statute, which gives us HGD, tells us where we default to. And I would like to include in the committee's tasks a report to the board as to what that curriculum looks like. The 118.019 runs to over 50 pages, and then much more than that when you include all the, those little links that they've got in there pursuant to. You get all those in there, and you're up to quite a chunk of change. The default is 2 paragraphs. So there is a piece that addresses high school education, sex education in high school, and there's a piece that addresses sex education in elementary school. And that's it. So you've got a statutory option of something that is small and a statutory option of something that is massive and very prescriptive. What we have right now, what is suggested, at least as I understand what Danielle's doing, is it's only looking at this piece. So if the board says, no, we don't want this, we don't know what this looks like. If this has gone away, what are we left with? And so I wanted to see if we could get that included in the committee's work for us. The piece that addresses elementary education is rather provocative. And I was not pleased to see it. And without HGD, if we fall back on this, we're still doing a whole lot of sex in K through 5. Either way, I think we should know what both are, and that would be my recommendation for the committee going forward. And I can
Can I just clarify for my own?
send that to Danielle. Yeah, absolutely.
Can I clarify for my own understanding, Mary? What you just talked about, are you referencing what's in the statute?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, not necessarily what's in our curriculum and what we're doing.
No, absolutely. All
Yeah.
this is statutory.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for clarifying.
And then we have an HGD curriculum currently. So what a curriculum would look like if we backed off of that, which is highly prescriptive, which means you're being told what to teach in a much greater level of detail than in the, I would say default, the other one, which is just the 2 paragraphs. And when I say prescriptive, it is statutorily prescriptive at the state level. Yeah. And it's statutorily much less prescriptive at the state level for the default. So if we could have that included in there, I will send that to Danielle and see what happens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so tonight what we are doing is approving the Human Growth and Development Committee members as presented. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the Human Growth and Development Committee members as presented.
Second.
All in favor of approving the Human Growth and Development Committee members as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed, call the roll.
All right. Roll call, Larry?
Yes.
Bren?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
Mary?
No.
Ashley? Jeannie?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. All right. Moving on to our learning walks. I was hoping that some of the members, or 1 or 2 of you, wouldn't mind just kind of sharing your experiences with learning walks. Moving forward, Julie and I have developed a Google Doc that we can sign up to attend the learning walks, and we can have up to 2 board members attend them. And it will allow us to just learn more about the operations in our district. So would one of you ladies like to kind of share your experience?
I just think it's so beneficial in the fact that you may have kids in the district, but through learning walks, you get to see all levels, all schools, PLE, Horizon, ASA, the high school, and a lot of these teaching strategies that they talk to us about when they come and present, you actually get to see them firsthand. And every one I've been on, I walked away just floored by the exceptional education our kids receive here from our teaching staff and our administration. So for anyone on the board that hasn't been involved in the learning walks, I say do it. I just think it's so beneficial, and it pumps me up with pride for this district every time I do it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, it adds a lot of value to the spotlight on learning. It provided me with a lot of terminology, and so it makes it easier to follow along. It also is helpful with the data that they bring forward as well. So yeah, I would agree with the other ladies.
All right, so for this coming year, the first one is on Wednesday, October 25th. So we have some time to check our calendars and sign up, and then Julie, is it on Board Doc, or are you gonna email it to them? Or is it the Google Doc, sorry? Okay. Yep. Okay, it might be. Yes. Just because of the size of the group with the administrators, if you wouldn't mind, can we start with 2 and see how that goes?
I just don't think it's fair to limit it. I mean, the thing is that there's never been more than 2 there. But if there's something where more than 2 would want to attend, I don't understand why it would be an issue. And the reason that I say that is with going on these learning walks, yes, it is a bigger group of people depending on who can all come. But it's not like the whole group is going into one classroom at a time. The groups are breaking up into small groups of maybe 1 or 2 individuals. And all of those individuals are targeting a bunch of different classrooms. So I don't really see a benefit to limiting it, because ultimately, from what I've gathered from the learning walks is that whoever is going on these learning walks is then bringing information, because it's always, you're going and then there's always an objective. So what are you looking for? You always get a sheet of, here's questions that we're looking for that they want feedback. So to me, I feel like we're doing a disservice to limit the amount of people to come, because I don't see the value in not allowing whoever wants to come and give feedback.
Okay.
Because it's only going to make us better.
Did we have concerns because the fact that the three of us have been going on them now, and we're coming back and saying how great our experiences are, is there greater interest that made us kind of worry that maybe there would be too many people showing up?
That was my concern when I presented this idea to Danielle. I have never attended one and I would like to. But I just was, and this was probably more me, was I was worried that we'd be inundating a teacher with too many people. But I hear you, and we can talk to Danielle and see if she agrees. And we'll include it in the email when we send the Google Doc, okay?
I mean, I guess I would be more for it if there's been complaints from teachers saying that there's too many people or that they have concerns, but I mean, I don't know if it's ever been.
No, I can say, and I think I can speak for Danielle, we can accommodate more board members. I appreciate, the sentiment, and it is true, Ashley, as you described. We spread people out, we split them up. And, we would, Julie, we post these anyway, right? Yeah, we would probably want to maybe consider that, just in case we get to larger numbers at a given one, just to post that there's a learning walk and board members may be attending, just so that we're kind of covered there. But generally, I don't think Danielle would have concerns about accommodating that.
So I have one other question. What's the time commitment when we?
It's about an hour,
Oh, just an hour?
about an hour.
An hour.
Yeah, and you're probably in the classrooms 30 minutes, because we have a briefing, and usually it's whatever. So if it's at Asa Clark, we'd sit down and Anthony and Katie would kind of walk us through the process for that particular set of classroom visits, where we're gonna go, and then we kind of split up and go to the different classrooms, and then we come back and we do a debrief and we talk about what we saw. And
Is there like a rubric of some sort that we use?
sometimes, it depends on what they might have specific practices that they're asking you to watch for. So it just kind of depends. Sometimes the learning walk can even be relationship building with staff. It can be kind of a check-in with people as well. So it just kind of depends on what the principal has planned for that particular.
Does the teacher know about these in advance
Yes.
and the students as well?
Yeah, the students probably don't really know about it, but our students are pretty used to adults coming into their classrooms, because, we do that regularly. But the teachers are always made aware by the principals that there's a learning walk, and admin and board will be coming through. And so, and to Ashley's comment, I have not heard any complaints. I've heard actually only positive comments from teachers.
And not that I'm critical or cautious about it, but I think it's a good idea to do it, by the way, but are there any like specific objectives that we would expect to get out of this as board members as we do these?
Are you baldridging us?
Maybe.
Well, I think just to reiterate what Ashley said is because I'm not an educator, it just helps me to better understand the realm of education. And I mean, that's really what we're here to support, right? Is the education of our kids. And the better we can understand it, the better we can support it. And I do love the fact that I think every time I've gone on them, they give us sheets that just, lay out the objectives that they want us to look for that particular day. So it makes it easier to observe and write your thoughts down. And I love that you get to come back and give feedback and just, you feel like you're part of the team, which I really enjoy.
Well, and you're absolutely right. I kind of tend to think that way. So it is something that obviously from a board standpoint, if it's something that we've determined would help us get that additional insight and knowledge about what goes on. But then at some point in time, once we've, everybody's done them, we could do like a little bit of a feedback or output, feedback or report out and say, okay, this is what we've learned from this series of learning walks and go forth with it. So that's all.
I like it. Okay, anything else? All right, we will add columns, I think. And, yeah. All right. Okay, then this, the one last little piece of business, you all have a sheet for National Board of Education Appreciation Week. We'd like you to fill that out before you leave, please, and give it to Julie. We appreciate that. Okay, any comments from citizens? Any cards, Julie? We have citizens. Thanks for coming, everybody. Okay, and then, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor of adjournment, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed?